As you know, all week long we've been celebrating the Foodie Crawl that's happening this weekend in Bend. It's an event to benefit the Bend Community Center where a lot of great restaurants, really some of the best restaurants in town, are getting together to fundraise for this great center, something that Rockin Dave, which is participating in. Bend Community Center is near and dear to your heart.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, it's not only really close to my restaurant, but it's what they do is important to me, and I think it's one of the more dear causes to me personally, as far as a place that helps feed the people that can't afford to feed themselves or need a little help. So being in the restaurant business, it's nice to support a place like that.
Yeah,
so.
And you started for somebody, I went to Rockin Days for the first time about 2 weeks ago because I had so many recommendations from the folks around me at kids' soccer game, yes, but we all ended up going there. It was fantastic. But you used to be a bagel shop, but you're much more than that now.
Absolutely. We used to be called the Bagel Stop, which was Ben's oldest bagel shop in town. And it was what it was, an older location, a unique little site. We took it over. There's two Daves at Rockin Days, me and my business partner, Dave Cohen, who are both chefs by trade. And Dave Cohen is from New York, and so loves the idea of having a bagel place. So we kept the bagels. But
eating
beyond
pizza
that,
underneath.
beyond that, we've made it kind of the best type of scratch deli that we could possibly do. Basically make everything from scratch, including the pastrami and the corned beef, which is a very unique thing if you've never had homemade pastrami or corned beef.
That was exactly what everybody was recommending to have, was the corned beef and the pastrami.
So the story beyond that is having it burned down. I didn't know what good pastrami was, and Dave's father, who visits every year, told me that the pastrami I was serving prior to the fire was not real pastrami. So I learned to make it rather than buy it from New York and pay a lot of money, buy Northwest beef and basically smoke it and braise it ourselves.
Oh, so that's fantastic. So what are you making here today?
Today we're going to do just for this Foodie Crawl, it's a kind of appetizer, one bite and a pairing ideally. Trust me, I'm doing you a favor by giving you a small portion because there are at least 13 different dishes to do. So basically I'm doing a crab cake stuffed jalapeno popper that has goat cheese and avocado, and it's wrapped in bacon.
Oh,
so
that sounds good.
It's really, and this is something for the home cook too. I mean, this isn't too hard to do. We're basically just going to take some fresh jalapenos, and if you haven't used too many fresh jalapenos before, it's ideally use a glove if you're going to do a lot of this, cleaning out the insides, which is really the spicy part, are the seeds inside here in the membrane. So I just use a knife and try and cut it out best I can, peel it out.
Like cleaning a fish.
Only easier, really a lot easier, and a lot less stinky and messy. So.
But this is something you're serving this week. You're not serving yet in the restaurant, but you might in the future.
No, yeah, we hope to open up a nighttime neighborhood pub at the same site we're already in, Rockin Dave's. In the back part, there's a nice space for a nighttime restaurant, but. That'll be really exciting for the people in Midtown to have a great place that they can get a drink and a great place.
Yeah, you're a little bit challenged in Midtown to have like restaurants that you do in downtown and in the old mill. So to have something great there is really going to be fantastic. So this is really simple though.
Yeah, this is probably the most complicated part. Just making a crab cake. There's a lot of little, just green onions and red peppers and some fresh herbs and some Ritz crackers and some egg whites that are whipped up.
This is really, since the internet came along, everything is a little bit easier for someone like myself because I can even make this. Just follow a simple recipe and whip it up.
So in the crab cake part, you can just add vegetables. You don't have to be too concerned with that. I mean, stuff it with crab. The egg whites and the Ritz cracker kind of bind it all together. I'm gonna put a little goat cheese in the crab cake mix, but also just underneath the avocados that I'm gonna put on here. Just to kind of, when it melts in there, that'll be a good little.
It makes it a lot meatier too.
Yeah, and you can see I stuffed them full of crab. They're gonna cook down a little bit. And then I'm just gonna take some
everything's
nice
better with bacon.
And this is fairly thick cut because this is what we use in the restaurant, but you could probably use a thinner cut of bacon.
And it's uncooked at this point.
It's uncooked. Let's see, I'm gonna put these right in there. Just
is the bacon, a lot of the flavor goes into, just into the bite, despite the simple fact that you're baking it in the oven?
Yeah,
it's all
exactly. Yeah, the fat's gonna melt down in there. I like to season everything too, a little bit, the avocado, a little bit of the goat cheese, just to keep the salt level right. I'm a big fan of seasoning the individual parts as you put them into a dish.
You say
That's
salt and
basically-
bacon, and I'm a fan as well.
So that's real simple, and then we're just gonna roast them off. We're gonna throw them in the oven.
Throw them in the oven. How long does it take in the oven? How long you
These will
put it in
take
there?
about 18, 20 minutes. You just want to look at the bacon and see that it's cooked over the top.
There they are. Oh my gosh, those look so good.
So we have, that's what they look like coming out. I'm just gonna, as far as the foodie crawl goes, you know, we're gonna plate them up and jazz them up a little bit. Also give them something to sit down on there, some greens. I've got kind of a real simple roasted red pepper coulis here, where it's roasted red peppers, some white balsamic vinegar, oil, garlic, basil, kind of pureed up. So that'll give it some nice,
Sauce it up.
yeah, sauce
Do
it
what
up.
you
And this is
want,
kind of
yeah.
a glorified tartar sauce, where it's got pickles and onions and a mayo based, and some fresh parsley and lemon.
Call it tartar sauce. Sometimes people go away from it, but if you put a fancy name, people are all in.
There we go. We're just kind of dressing it up. Little fresh parsley,
that
some
looks-
chives to
almost
make it look.
And almost being the key word, it almost looks too good to eat, but let me
I'm guessing you're going
let me just
to.
try
I'm
it out
guessing
here,
you're going
you know,
to.
because
So-
I want to make sure that everyone at home knows how good it is here. Oh my gosh.
So a little heat from the chili, some smokiness from the bacon, the crab, the creaminess of the goat cheese is supposed
The
to
flavors in
supposed
there.
to cut a little bit of the spice of the jalapeno.
Yeah, it's not even, and I have my limits to spice, and it wasn't too spicy at all. It was perfect and kind of the smoky, yummy, a lot of flavors. Well, Dave, thank you. Make sure that when you have the second half of your restaurant open up, to call me, because we'd
All
like
right.
to come in and show everyone in Bend what that's all about. But Dave, if you haven't been, go to Rockin' Dave's. It's in Midtown on Greenwood.
It's right on Greenwood, between 6 and 7.
It's a great place. Or, of course, go to the Foodie Crawl this weekend. Tickets are $65 at foodiecrawl.org. My window from the Brick House. We'll be right back.